Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I'm Reverend Divine. This is Reverend Liz. We're co-ministers here at Unity of Fort Collins. We are so happy that you're here with us. And whether you're listening today or at a different time, you and your presence energetically are what are contributing to all that goes into this service, the community itself. So I want to thank you for taking time to be part of what we've got going on here. I'd like to take just a moment to read our mission and vision statement so that you in fact know what you are participating in.
Good.
You know, all folks are welcome on whatever level you are in your path. If you're just starting out exploring parts of your spirituality, or you've been doing this since you were a little tot, there's always something new that's being revealed for us to discover. That's the beautiful thing. So our mission statement here is that we're centered in love, inspired by spirit. We awaken, connect, and thrive. Yeah, thrive. Our mission statement, which is important for you to know what we're about. At Unity of Fort Collins, we are creating a loving community by holding a safe and sacred space where all are supported to learn, grow, and participate in an awakening world. So that is what you are participating in. And again, we are so blessed that you're here. And so now I want to turn this time over to Reverend Liz. She's got some announcements for us.
Yes, I do. Divine, have you heard the news?
What news?
There's big news.
Oh my God.
Well,
you didn't tell me? What is it? Did you just hear?
I just heard.
Okay, what is it?
Well, Great Spirit said that we are having a reopening at Unity of Fort Collins. Anybody been ready for this for some time? We are so ready. We have a reopening team and we have been meeting regularly. I'm going to give you a few particulars because it's important for us to at least let you know. The reopening that we're planning is going to be on Sunday, June 6th. We are continuing to monitor how we are going to reopening. Things are going to temporarily look a little bit different, and our hopes is to be back in person as our safety precautions will be lifted. Yeah. It's our intention to relax the rules as soon as it's safe for everyone. Now, many of you know that many of the state and local safety guidelines have recently been relaxed, which is great. And we would still like to maintain some rules in order to protect the most vulnerable people in the Unity community, those that might be hesitant or more vulnerable. So a few of the things that are particulars to our reopening is that we will be requiring reservations, and that'll be through a Google form link. All this information will be provided for you this week. You may be getting an email. You can check the office. It'll be on the website and it'll also be in our newsletter. So all the particulars will be there. We're looking to make this as easy as possible for every one of you.
So this is like a save the date, getting everyone ready.
Right, and it's only 2 weeks. So reservations, we will still have safety guidelines to adhere to. Social distancing and mask wearing are the two main things. And then the other things will be explained again. And you can find out any of that information again on the website, along with all of our other announcements and happenings here. The one thing that I did want to mention is that temporarily on hold and unavailable will be childcare. We're still working on that aspect. So please note that we won't be having kids for that particular Sunday, and we'll let you know as we go. So again, very exciting to be able to see each other. And again, all the particulars will be made known. We are looking for a few volunteers. So Julie is in the office Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12. Please contact her if you'd like to help out with some of the things like ushering. There's a few volunteers that will be needed. So that's the big happening, but we have, there's more? There's another one, but wait, there's more.
Oh, and just in case people don't want to come, is it still going to be available virtually?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're
Just in
still,
case you don't want to come or you don't feel comfortable coming yet.
that's right.
Okay.
Very good
I
point,
just
Dee.
want-
That's why we're a team. So, yes, so if you're not able to show up in person, you can still see the service at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, the 6th, and every week after that, it'll be recorded and be put there for your viewing pleasure. So the next announcement is a week, well, 6 days after that. It will be happening on Saturday, June 12th. It is the Unity annual yard sale. Almost all annual, because last year we didn't have it, but I believe it's an annual yard sale here at Unity of Fort Collins. It will be on Saturday morning, actually till the afternoon. It's 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. on June 12th. Please mark your calendars for this. Now, do you have some stuff that you would like to release in a place that would love to have your items for our fundraising and fundraising? Basically, Monday, June 7th, make note of that, is when you can start bringing your yard sale stuff to Unity. And we'll be accepting donations here Monday through Thursday. That's June 7th through the 10th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And also on the day of the sale, which is June 12th. And you can bring your larger items on the day of the sale only, and that is June 12th. Basically, we're going to welcome your clean items in good repair. Books, household items, small appliances, furniture, toys, games, crafts, seasonal decorations, sports equipment, bikes, lawn and garden items. We're going to have a big party here. Now,
Are there
note,
no-nos?
there's a no-nos.
Okay.
Absolutely. No TVs, no computers, no large appliances or vehicles, please. And also not so many clothes, because to tell you the truth, they really don't move well and we have to haul them off. So we're looking for volunteers to help out, and you can call Leanne Gable, or you can call the office. Leanne's number is 970-412-9359 with any questions, or if you need some help getting donations to the church. So again, you can call the office or call Leanne. And last but not least,
Oh, boy.
I know, one more thing.
Okay.
It's just when you're here, or if you want to stop by earlier, but we have some of the daily words, and this is for June, May and June of 2021. This also is available. We have some copies here. So if you'd like to pick up your copy, stop by the office. And that's what we've got happening here. Anything else, you can always see what's happening on the website, Unity of Fort Collins, under news and events.
Or if any of this was just too much because you got too excited and you forgot, call Julie. She'll be happy to share with you and make sure that you get the pertinence.
Yeah, pertinence.
Pertinence.
All right, enough. Yes,
All right.
so we're going to go ahead and start with an opening prayer with Reverend Divine.
And let us take a moment now to go inward. No matter where you are, take a moment just to be mindful of your breath, knowing that as you breathe in, you are breathing in all that is welcoming and good for your well-beingness. And as you exhale, you're consciously letting go of anything and everything that you need to, so that you can be present to hear the message, the music, and if you choose to tune in to community connection afterwards, that you be part of that. I know that this time together is exactly what's needed to be called forth in your own heart. And I am giving great thanks for you and your willingness to be a receptive vessel to hear all that may touch and inspire you, so that you can have the most amazing day. So just giving thanks, and again, allowing all that to be present for you. I know that this service is blessed by all components going into it, but most importantly, by your love and energy. Giving great thanks and letting go. I know that it's done, and so that it is. And now if you'll join me in our unity blessing, the words will be up on the screen so that if you don't know it by heart, you can say it out loud with me. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world.
It's now my good pleasure to introduce today's guest singer-songwriter, Kristen Goodman. Kristen Goodman played for us in a service back in January and invited her back for today. Her bio reads that Kristen Goodman is an openly queer musician, versatile singer, and an entertainment producer who was born and raised right here in Fort Collins. Prior to the pandemic, she was performing professionally around St. Louis with multiple bands and as a solo artist. In 2017, Kristen released her debut album, I'm Ready, which is now available on iTunes and Spotify. And in December 2019, Kristen Goodman and her big band recorded her forthcoming live album of original music. Last fall, Kristen took a 6-week solo camping trip from St. Louis to California. She has been staying with family in the Sierra Nevada mountains for the winter. She is thrilled to be now relocating to New York City this summer to attend grad school at Berkeley, New York City. We are so grateful that she gets to be back with us today. So let's just open our hearts to the amazing, awesome, and very talented Kristen Goodman. Thank you, Kristen.
Seconds count, and we can close. Good morning. I'm Jenny Oglesby, and here's the reading for today from the Daily Word. I heed my inner guidance and work for my success. My mind is full of ideas and plans and dreams and goals. At times, it may be difficult to sort them out and formulate a cohesive plan that ensures my success. This is where my guidance comes in. To receive my inner knowing clearly, I quiet my mind to better tune in to the still small voice, my link to my divine nature. With every plan I create, I remind myself that I need not rely solely upon my knowledge and reason. I also can access my guidance, which I may discern as a persistent feeling or a nudge to do something. If my guidance is unclear or difficult to discern, I wait with patience until I can determine how to proceed. I allow my inspiration to speak to me as I continue on my path.
Took my love, took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hill. The landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? And I sail through the changing ocean tides. Can I handle the seasons of my life? Don't know. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Well, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, and even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yeah, well, I'm getting older too. So take this love, take it down. If you climb a mountain and you turn around, if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills where the landslide brought me down, if you see my reflection in the snow
Today, I begin with an autobiography in 5 short chapters by Portia Nelson. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It's not my fault, and it takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in. I can't believe I'm in the same place. It isn't my fault, and it still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see that it is there. I fall in. It's a habit, but now my eyes are open. I know where I am. It's my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down a different street. I love that reading. I love that story. And it came to mind as I began contemplating the talk for today, which is on the subject entitled Spiritual Understanding. Of course, many of you may know that we've been studying this month of May, the spiritual power or ability by co-founder Charles Fillmore from Unity. And this month has been on the power of understanding. We began on May 1st with Reverend David Alt, who spoke about how often that we get stuck in the forest of life happenings and we can't see beyond the tree that is present in our lives to see the full forest, which is our understanding. On Mother's Day, I spoke on the heart of the divine feminine, which is in all of us, the power of the heart of listening with empathy, and how we need to become empathetic in order to gain greater understanding. Last week, Reverend Divine, she spoke to us about the realization aspect of understanding and how it's important to realize that which is our true and most authentic self. Today, I'm going to be focusing more on the subject entitled Spiritual Understanding and how it differs from intellectual understanding, why spiritual understanding is so important, and the big how. How do we gain more spiritual understanding in our lives? Does that sound good? Are you ready? Great. Well, I'm going to begin just with a basic definition of understanding. This is from the Power Up Your Life, which is a study on the 12 powers again. The definition is understanding is the power to comprehend and interpret knowledge and to make cognitive connections. So the difference, intellectual understanding is our ability to comprehend, interpret knowledge, and to make cognitive connections based on our senses, thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. That's intellectual understanding. It's in the realm of the relative. Spiritual understanding, on the other hand, is still the ability to comprehend, interpret knowledge, and make cognitive connections, but it is based on the universal truths, laws, and ideas that are divine in nature, and they're true no matter what. They're in that land of the absolute. Spiritual understanding is gained by what? Investing time in the silence. Yeah. It results from the quickening of our spiritual nature, our divine nature. This type of knowledge sometimes includes and always transcends the intellectual and understanding. This knowledge comes swiftly and arises outside of our reasoning processes. it comes to us as that internal process, that internal knowing, which is also referred to as the still small voice, or that which seems forgotten, or like a reflection or echo of something that we have once heard but have forgotten. Another author who speaks a lot on the 12 powers in her book called Divine Audacity is Linda Martella Whitsett. She says if knowledge is acquiring facts, okay, so putting things in your head, understanding is making sense of them. And spiritual understanding ultimately goes beyond facts to settle again on the word is changeless truths. So as you may be understanding in this moment, spiritual understanding goes a lot further than knowledge and facts. It's that inner knowing that provides information beyond that which is normal and helps us through our life experiences. So I have a story that I want to share with you, and it's a great life example of spiritual understanding and how it shows up and what an impact it made. Now, some of you may remember the great earthquake that generated the Great Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004. One of the many stories that came out of that event involves a little 10-year-old schoolgirl who was visiting with her family and her sister Holly from England. She was 10 years old and they were out vacationing in Thailand. On the morning of December 26th, the family was walking on the beach, and Tilly noticed something different about the ocean. It didn't seem to be coming in and out. It seemed frothy and bubbly, and it just seemed to be coming in. She had a recollection of some study that they did in school about tsunamis, and she just got really emotional, and she started telling her family, it bubbles, the water bubbles. There's going to be a tsunami. We have to go. And her parents just kind of ignored her and said, no, I don't think so. Well, she continued insisting that there was going to be a tsunami. Finally, she convinced her father that they should go back to the hotel. As they got closer to the hotel, the father mentioned to the security guard, strange as it sounded, that his daughter was convinced that there was going to be a tsunami. Thankfully, the guard listened and he began warning all the visitors out on the street. And as the people began streaming towards the hotel, Tilly's family went up to the second-story floor and watched from their balcony. It was at that very moment that the tsunami hit. The massive tsunami hit the shore, and it killed over 250,000 people that day, and 10,000 of them were in Thailand. There was a few injuries at the hotel, but there was absolutely no fatalities. The British tabloids credited this to Tilly and named her the Angel of the Beach. Now, how did Tilly know this? Well, it came from something deeper than what she saw. Yes, she saw something, but there was something deeper. And that was that spiritual of understanding. She didn't know intellectually. She was tapped in and tuned in to what we call the divine mind. There is a divine mind that is everywhere present. It is that divine love intelligence that is breathing me and you. And that's where spiritual understanding lives. It's within us. Is spiritual understanding important? Well, I'm going to share with you the proverb that speaks directly to this. It's in Proverbs 3:13 through 18 and 4:7. It says, happy is the man who findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the gaining of it is better than the gaining of silver, and the profit thereof of fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and none of the things that thou canst desire are to be compared unto her. Length of days is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honors. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and her paths of peace. She is a tree of life to them who lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. With all thy getting, get understanding. Get understanding. You know, I haven't studied Proverbs, but when I read that, it spoke a lot. Now, staying with the text of the Bible, do you know who the wisest man in the Bible was? That's right, King Solomon. And from that story, it says that in the beginning of Solomon's reign as king over Israel, the divine presence appeared to him in a dream at night and said, "Ask what I shall give thee." Solomon, what did he answer? He said, "Give thy servant therefore an understanding heart." And the speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, "Because thou hast asked this thing and hast not asked for long life or riches for thyself, or asked for the life of thy enemies, but asked for thyself understanding to discern justice, behold, I have done according to thy word. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there will be none other like thee, and none shall arise as you. And I've also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any kings like unto thee all thy days. Thus, in losing sight of all the worldly goods and chattels and merely selfish ends, and desiring above all things to have an understanding heart, or which is also known as spiritual consciousness of the God within is wisdom, life, and power, Solomon received all the good, or good things included. It takes you to that phrase, seek ye first the kingdom, which is consciousness, and its right useness or righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Well, I don't know about you, but spiritual understanding is something that I would love to have more of. And what is spiritual understanding again? Well, my idea of it is that there is a knowledge, an inherent understanding, comprehension of the spiritual laws of the universe, kind of like gravity, to know what those laws are, that what we focus on, we attract and get more of. Whatever our vibration is within ourselves, we actually draw to ourselves. So that's why it's very important to use our minds to create the feelings, which is the vibration of energy that goes out in the universe and will attract and reflect right back to us what we're vibrating at. The other part of this spiritual understanding is to understand and to know the truth, that everyone and everything is the divine in expression, to know who we are. So I don't know if any of you who may or may not know of Emily Cady. She is probably one of the greatest teachers, and she has a book called Lessons in Truth. Her name is Harriet Emily Cady. She's an American homeopathic physician and author of many spiritual teachings. In 1896, she wrote a book called Lessons in Truth, a course of 12 lessons in practical Christianity. It is actually considered one of the core texts of Unity teachings and is the most widely read book of all Unity books. So if you don't have that particular book, I highly suggest you get it. It's 12 lessons by Emily Cady, Lessons in Truth. And one chapter in particular, chapter 8, is all about spiritual understanding. So did she find it was important? Absolutely. She writes that understanding is spiritual truth, a revelation of the divine within the heart of man and women. The revelation of truth to the consciousness of a person is spiritual understanding. She writes, you may have an intellectual perception of truth. You may easily grasp with the mind the statement that spirit is the giver of all gifts, like health and love and life, just as everyone has always known. Or you could go further and intellectually see that God is not only the giver, but is the gift itself, that spirit is life, it is love, it is health. And she says, but unless truth is, quote, revealed to you by great spirit, it's no practical benefit. You must have an experience, an experiential, where it's beyond words, it's beyond the intelligence, it's an experience of the divine. Until you are conscious, she says, of your oneness with spirit, until you know within yourself that the spring of all wisdom and health and joy is within your own being, ready at any moment to leap forth at the call of your need, you will not have spiritual understanding. Okay? I think it's pretty important. So now we go to the big H. How does one gain spiritual understanding? Understanding doesn't come overnight usually. It actually involves study. It involves meditation and reflection. It's something that one must strive for and be interested in. So I'm going to give you an acronym because, you know, I like to be able to remember things, and maybe you do too. So the word is, I'm going to dare you to have spiritual understanding. So to dare yourself to have spiritual understanding means that you first must have D. You must have the desire, I'm going to say burning desire to have spiritual understanding, to understand the laws and to work with the laws, not just to know them intellectually, and to utilize those laws and to know that truth of ourselves and our brothers and sisters when everybody is that. So to first, D, have the desire. Then in daring, you have to have an A. You ask, you inquire, and to question. Spiritual understanding becomes with the questioning. And that means question, I'm going to dare to say it, everything. Dare to question your beliefs. The belief is a thought that you hold to be true. And you know what? Our beliefs sometimes aren't even true. They're things that we inherited in our conditioned, fear-based world from our cultures and such. So to question things, it's good to question. Having a doubting Thomas within ourselves to question. Actually, doubting Thomas is the disciple who represents spiritual understanding because he doubted. He was curious. He had a desire to know things and he doubted. And it's good to have doubts and to question things because that opens us up. You know, the 3 most dangerous words, do you know what they are? They are, I know that. You know, as soon as we say, I know that, we have actually closed the door to growing or having any other insight into understanding things. So now we have desire and we're asking. Then the R of daring to have spiritual understanding is to reflect, to spend time in the silence, as I spoke of, to meditate, to spend time reflecting and listening to the spirit within. You can ask your questions with desire to the one that is breathing you, that is breathing me, to reflect and to listen. And finally, the E in dare is to embody the teachings, getting to the point where, as Jesus, the great way shower, he was the embodiment of spiritual understanding. He saw beyond appearances. He even said, judge not by appearances, but see the spiritual truth. When someone is having an ailment, an illness, we need to see the spiritual truth that that person beyond appearances is a spiritual being, and there is no sickness or disease in spirit. That's how Myrtle Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, was healed, because she believed in that. And she began to see herself as spirit. To be able to see ourselves and to see one another as great spirit sees us, as divine love beings, here to serve, here to assist, here to love, and to be the love. And We're either coming from love or there's a call for love, and that we are so embodied in this teaching that we only come from love all the time, everywhere, with ourselves and with our world. And we see the goodness, because when we see and focus on the goodness, we get more of it. That's what spiritual understanding is, to embody it. So again, to dare is to desire spiritual understanding, to ask the questions, to reflect, and then to embody. Spiritual understanding involves three things in Divine Audacity by Linda Martello was said. That's comprehension, realization, and insight. And I'm going to read her little piece on insight because it speaks directly to what I just spoke of. Insight is that part of spiritual understanding. She writes, insight is my sense of understanding deeply that my neighbor and I are cut from the same cloth, that we are one. Insight is my awareness of how to respond rather than react, how to behold the inherent good in others as well as myself, and then to behave in the light of that truth. Insight is not psychoanalyzing another person. Insight is present awareness of others and my own divine humanity and divine identity. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes with this short meditation on the power of understanding by Reverend Bronte Colbert. Taking a breath in and let it go. And as I breathe, may these words I speak be words spoken with you, for you, as you as well. In this moment, I pause and call upon my spiritual gift of divine understanding for insights into my daily journey. If I'm not sure of the path to take, which decision to make, or what words to say, I allow spiritual understanding to guide my mind and heart. Understanding takes me to deeper levels of compassion, non-judgment, and connection to others. I use the faculty of understanding to see beyond human appearances and into the light of truth. I perceive and am grateful for the gifts, the joys, and the presence of the divine in every event or circumstance. With spiritual understanding, I see myself and others with great compassion. And so breathing that in, invite you to open your eyes, and in closing, a quote by Marie Curie. She says, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less." The story of the sidewalk and going down the street and falling into the hole, 5 chapters. The first 2 chapters of falling into the hole and not having it be my fault. There is no understanding in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 3 and chapter 4, I see the hole and I know that it's a habit, or I walk around it. I now have intellectual understanding. Chapter 5, I walk down a different street. That's spiritual understanding. May we all grow in our understanding and choose to go beyond the intellectual understanding and walk down the street of spiritual understanding. And so it is.
thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is everywhere. And every thought's indeed a prayer. May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore.
And now it's time for our prosperity blessing. I like to put whatever I am offering up in my hands and hold it to my heart to remind me of the power of green love contributing to the well-beingness of this immediate community and beyond and beyond. So if that's something that feels good to you, feel free to do that. And if you use PayPal and do it electronically, you can still, if you like, just hold your hands to your heart just to know that you are opening up to the value of giving, for it does make a huge contribution for the well-being of our community in all that we do. And so our prosperity blessing will also be up on the screen so that you can read that aloud. And again, the reading it out loud raises the vibration and adds to that energy. So please join me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
As I walk through this wicked world, searching for light in the darkness of insanity, troubled times, my spirit gets so downhearted sometimes. Where are the strong? Who are the trusted? And where is that harmony, sweet harmony? And each time I feel it slipping away, just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Oh, where are the strong? Who are the trusted? And where is that harmony, sweet harmony? And each time I feel it slipping away, just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh.
Please join me in the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
I hope you've enjoyed the music today. It's always an honor to provide the music for Unity Fort Collins because that's where I grew up. So it helps me stay connected to my hometown. If you want to connect with me on Facebook and Instagram, it's at Kristen Goodman Sings. And if you'd like to know more about my projects and stream some of my music, you can do so on my website, kristengoodman.com. This summer, I'm going to be moving to New York and attending a grad school program at Berkeley NYC. And I'll be documenting some of my experience there on my monthly fan club. So if you'd like to join me there, that's patreon.com/Kristen Goodman. I'll leave you with this last one, and I hope you'll sing along. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With earth as our mother, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth,
Yes, there is peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Thank you, Kristen Goodman. Love you, love your music. And the peace song is to me a song of spiritual understanding. And yes, we changed the words. Instead of let there be peace on earth, we changed the words here at Unity of Fort Collins to say, yes, there is peace on earth. And yes, it begins with me. So may we continue to dive into the spiritual understanding steps. It begins with desire. We ask questions, we reflect, and we embody. And we become more compassionate and loving as we not just live it, but watch the spiritual nature of life begin to live us. That which is old passes away, and we step into the newness of a new way to see, a new way to be. And it all begins with me. May you have a blessed day. Enjoy the spiritual understanding that you're diving into this week. Until next time, the divine in me sees and honors the divine in you. Namaste.